All right, it is election day in the United States, and almost every single Democrat is leading in the hotly contested races, such as New Jersey, Virginia, and the New York City mayoral race, right? So naturally, Caroline Leavitt and Donald Trump are trying to spin, and naturally, Trump is trying to interfere with the elections as they're happening. He posted earlier today, quote, "The unconstitutional redistricting vote in California is a giant scam, in that the entire process, in particular the voting itself, is rigged." The word he always goes back to, rigged. When he lost a beauty pageant, that was rigged. When he lost an Emmy, that was rigged. When he lost the Iowa primary in 2016, he said it was rigged. When he lost the popular vote to Clinton despite winning, he said it was rigged. It's always rigged for somebody like him. And now he's saying, quote, "All mail-in ballots where the Republicans in that state are shut out is under very serious legal and criminal review. Stay tuned." There's no serious legal and criminal review. The serious review is happening actually against the Trump admin, who is currently defying a court order about giving SNAP to 42 million Americans who need access to food. We'll get to them defying a court order in just 1 second. But when Caroline Leavitt was asked about California and Trump's tweets regarding California, she said this.
Sure.
Caroline, the president posted on True Social that the voting underway in California is, quote, rigged. What evidence does he have of that, and what does it mean that mail-in ballots in that state are under legal and criminal review? By whom and why? And also, in this vein, does the White House still plan to issue an executive order banning mail-in voting, and what legal authority do you have to do that?
The White House is working on an executive order to strengthen our elections in this country and to ensure that there cannot be blatant fraud, as we've seen in California with their universal mail-in voting system. It's absolutely true that there's fraud in California's elections. It's just a fact. It is just a fact. They have a universal mail-in voting system, which we know is ripe for fraud. And if you want to deny that, I'm happy to provide you all of the evidence for it. I'd be glad to send that to you after this briefing.
There's zero evidence. Donald Trump has voted via mail-in ballot. They check all identities against the voter rolls. It is actually uniquely safe.
Fraudulent ballots that are being mailed in the names of other people, in the names of illegal aliens who shouldn't be voting in American elections. This
doesn't happen. There's no evidence of this happening. There was an article one time in Arizona that 2 illegal ballots had been caught, and people tried to use that as proof of fraud. But in fact, hear me out here. In fact, that is proof of the system working as intended. Because if we flagged these 2 ballots immediately before they were even counted, we flagged them, the local news picked it up, it turned into a story. That means this was an anomaly that got caught, not something that regularly happens. You get what I mean?
There's countless.
So in this next clip, Caroline Leavitt then gets asked about Trump's blatant fraud with the Binance founder that he pardoned, then said he didn't know. And this one is great. It's hilarious. Just wait to hear what Caroline Leavitt's spin on the Binance founder is. It's honestly too juicy. Let's listen to the 60 Minutes interview very quickly.
He pled guilty in 2023 to violating anti-money laundering laws. Right. The government at the time said that CZ had caused significant harm to U.S. national security, essentially by allowing terrorist groups like Hamas to move millions of dollars around. Why did you pardon him?
Okay, are you ready? I don't know who he is. I know he got a 4-month sentence or something like that, and I heard it was a Biden witch hunt.
So you don't know who he is, but you know the exact details about this, and it's a Biden witch hunt. It's all insane. Let's hear how Caroline Leavitt spins the hell out of this. Lord have mercy.
President Trump said to CBS in the 60 Minutes interview that he did not know the Binance founder, which he pardoned. What exactly did he mean for that? I know it caused.
He means he does not know him personally. He means he does not have a personal relationship with this individual. And when it comes to pardons, the White House takes them with the utmost seriousness, and the president understands the responsibility that he has as president to issue clemency and issue pardons to individuals who are seeking that. That's why we have a very thorough review process here that moves with the Department of Justice.
Oh my Lord, wait a minute. You have such a thorough review process that the president doesn't even know who this person is. This is legitimately the auto pen that they're accusing Biden of. They're saying Biden signed executive orders or pardoned people, and he had no clue who it was that he was signing executive orders for or who he was pardoning. That's literally happening with Trump, and they're admitting it. The media needs to be covering this. By the way, If you appreciate the coverage on the Adam Mockler channel, double check to make sure you're subscribed below. We want to hit 2 million subscribers to punch back against MAGA media.
In the White House counsel's office, there's a whole team of qualified lawyers who look at every single pardon request that ultimately make their way up to the President of the United States. He's the ultimate final decision maker. And he was very clear when he came into office that he was most interested in looking at pardoning individuals who were abused and used by the Biden Department of Justice and were over-prosecuted by a weaponized DOJ. And the individual you're referring to, that was certainly the case.
No, it was not. And this is incredibly disgusting. This is somebody whose platform was used to funnel money to terrorist groups, to do child solicitation, sort of sex trafficking, a lot of alleged drug trafficking done through this platform, and Donald Trump just pardoned him because he got money, or his kids got money. Here we listen to Caroline Leavitt try to spin Donald Trump's MRI at Walter Reed. At first, when she was asked if he got an MRI, she denied it, she lied, she spun, she said she doesn't really know. Then Trump admitted it on Air Force One day after Walter Reed accidentally leaked it. Walter Reed said that he got advanced imaging or something around there, advanced imaging checks, and Trump just admitted it. Now Caroline Leavitt gets asked, why did he get this?
Why did President Trump get an MRI during his recent visit to Wall Street?
Look, as President Trump said, he would inquire with the physicians. I'll check back on that. But as the physical itself stated, Kristen, and as you all know, because you are all witness to it, every single day the president is in optimal physical health. This was a follow-up appointment, and we provided a detailed readout of that physical. I'm happy to give it to you again, and I can inquire further.
With all due respect, an MRI is a very specific procedure. It's done on a part of the body looking for something specific, so it's not generally part of any kind of routine checkup. And in addition, President Trump has said that he wants to be transparent. He told us to ask the doctors, which we have and have not heard back. Why don't we have more information on this?
As I said, I'll check back for you.
No answer. No answer whatsoever. Here's Caroline Leavitt being asked, finally, about Trump and his admin defying a court order. This one is uniquely important because 42 million Americans will lose access to SNAP benefits due to the Trump admin defying this court order. In his eyes, he thinks it's leverage, he can do whatever he wants, but this is going to ruin a lot of people, including people in Republican states who disproportionately use safety nets. And this one is a bit more immediate. So like when we're talking about Trump's MRI and his health scans or whatever, that's a bit more abstract to the average voter, if you know what I mean. The average apolitical person in the United States who's not paying attention isn't really going to be thinking about this type of stuff. But on a day-to-day basis, SNAP benefits, or even the price of groceries, which are going up, the price of gas, all of these things, they do affect people. They are more tangible, which means that Donald Trump is legitimately going to pull the rug out of a bunch of Americans who don't fully understand how harmful he is yet.
Can you help clear up some confusion about SNAP benefits? Because the president just posted that they will only be given out when the radical left Democrats open the government and not before. But just yesterday, the administration said it would comply with a court order to expend the full amount of SNAP contingency funds by end of business day yesterday. So did the administration distribute that money or defy that court order?
No, the administration is fully complying with the court order. I just spoke to the president about it. The recipients of these SNAP benefits need to understand it's going to take some time to receive this money because the Democrats have forced the administration into a very untenable position.
It's going to take time to receive the money that was already appropriated to them because Donald Trump is holding it. I like how the reporter asked, so are you giving the funds or are you defying the court order? And Caroline goes, no. That's not an answer. You're saying no to both of these things? Again, we are on day 35 of the government shutdown. Happy day 35 to all who celebrate, I guess. Not to make a joke out of something that is clearly hurting a lot of Americans, but damn, the Republicans need to get off their asses. They have a majority in the House. They have a majority in the Senate. They have the presidency. They even have the damn Supreme Court. And I understand that the filibuster exists, but if you can't get a few moderate Democrats in the Senate to sign on, trust me, there are a lot of moderate-ass Democrats in the Senate who would sign on. That's your effing problem, Republicans. That is your fault. And if Democrats, if you look at their demands and you want to be as uncharitable as possible, and you just look at the facts, their demands are literally that more Americans deserve health care or deserve lower costs to their health care. That's me being as like uncharitable as possible. It still sounds like a noble cause. What's Trump's demand? To continue deporting people, reallocating funds away from SNAP to things like his ballroom. I mean, this dude was able to get a donor, a secret donor for the military, and dozens of donors for his ballroom, but he can't fund SNAP. And I'm not saying that that money can be directly distributed. I know that it's complicated, but damn, these people only want to help the rich. I'm going to leave it there. If you appreciate these videos, double check to make sure you're subscribed. I love you all, and peace out.